today we're going to be working on 6-7, which is solving inequalities by multiplication and division. And today is part 1, so we'll be doing a little bit more next time on our next lesson. So let's get started. So the properties of inequalities. So last time we worked with addition and subtraction. This time we're going to be working with multiplying and dividing. It's a little bit different than with just solving regular inequalities, and I'll get to that in a little bit. All right, so when you multiply or divide each side of an equality by a positive number, then inequality remains true. And this is very important. It's positive, okay? When it's negative, it's a little bit different rule, and we'll go into that in a little bit. So if I have 2 is less than 4, which is true, if I multiply both sides by 3, my equality will still stay true. So 2 times 3 is 6, 4 times 3 is 12, and 6 is less than 12. And that is true. So let's go over to here. If I divide both sides by the same inequality, if it's positive, then 6 divided by 2 is 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. It still is true, so 3 is greater than 2. So let's go ahead and solve this. Now this, we are dividing by a positive. We will be dividing by a positive, so we are okay here to not change the inequality, and I'll talk about that. So I have 8x is less than 40, sorry. Okay, what is happening to my variable? I see that it's being multiplied by 8. So instead of multiplying by 8, I'm going to divide 8 on both sides. So I can get 1x. That's what my whole goal is, to get 1x or whatever the variable is. I just want one of it. Okay, so I have 8 divided by 8, which is 1. So I have x is less than or equal to, and then 40 divided by 8 is 5. Let's go ahead and check. So a number less than 5, let's say 0. 0 is pretty easy. So 0 is less than or equal to 5. That would be a true here. So let's see if it's true here. So 8 times 0 is less than or equal to 40. Is this true? 0 is less than or equal to 40? Yes. So we're correct there. Let's go on to the next one. All right. So our next one is, we have d is less than or d is divided by 2 is greater than 7. So since I am dividing by 2, I have to multiply by 2 on both sides. So you can show that with parentheses or with a dot. I'm going to show it with parentheses. So I'm going to multiply by 2 on both sides. This will give me 1. So I have 2 divided by 2, so I'm left with d is greater than, and then 7 times 2 is 14. So my answer is d, or my solution is d is greater than 14. So a number greater than 14, we'll say 15, okay, is greater than 14. That's true, right? So let's see if it's true in our check. So if I plug in 15 here, 15 divided by 2 is greater than 7. Well, 15 divided by 2, well, that's 7.5 is greater than 7, and that is a true statement. So let's go on to this one here. I have 6 is greater than or equal to x divided by 7. So since I need to find my variable, and my variable is x here, what's happening to my variable? I'm being divided by 7. So the inverse of dividing by 7 would be multiplied by 7. So I'm going to multiply by 7 here, and on the left side. 7 divided by 7 is 1, so I cross it off. I have x is less than or equal to, and then 7 times 6 is 42. So I'm going to rewrite this. I like to have my variable on the left side. It makes it easier for me to understand what it means. So because I like to read it this way, so I have x is less than or equal to 42. Now how I did that was, since I flipped the x to the side, I have to flip my sign. Or you can say it's always pointing to the x, so it's pointing to the x here. Okay? So a number less than 42, let's try 40, right? So 40 is less than or equal to 42. So let's check it in here. So I have 6 is greater than or equal to 40 divided by 7. Okay, so 40 divided by 7, that's going to be definitely less than 6. So I don't know what that is. What is that? 5. It goes into it 5 times. That's 35 plus 5 more, so 5/7. Okay. All right. Is that right? 35? Yeah, 40. All right. So let's go on to our next one. Our next slide. Okay. Now we're going to be graphing this. So we're going to first solve our solution, and then we're going to graph it. So I have 4x is less than 40. So what's happening to my variable is being multiplied by a 4. So I'm going to do the inverse, which is divide by 4. So I'm going to divide by 4 on the left side and divide by 4 on the right. So I get x is less than, and then 40 divided by 4 is 10. Now, going back to what we learned on the last video, we're talking about less than, so it's not equal to it, so it's an open dot. Okay, a number less than 10 would be 0, right? So 0 less than 10, so that means that it should be including 0. So I'm going to graph it at 10, so find 10. It is an open dot, and it should be everything less than that. So that means that it's going to the left. So it should include 0. Yep, I'm there. I like to make it a little bit darker. This is a little long graph. I like it bold, kind of. Okay? Or if you want to, you can also do it above where it's a circle and then a line going this way. That's the end of 6.7, solving inequalities by multiplication and division. Look for part 2, which is with negative numbers.